If your Nikon Z is technically nailing focus and somehow still missing the shot you actually cared about, you are not crazy. Your camera is not possessed, and you do not need to spend your weekend rage scrolling autofocus menus like you're trying to defuse a small nuclear device. Most missed focus problems on Nikon Z cameras come from one thing: the setup is fighting the situation. And once you fix that, the camera gets a whole lot easier to trust. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you the Nikon Z focus setup I use to get sharp images more consistently, whether I'm shooting people, street events, or anything that moves just enough to ruin my day. We'll go through the handful of settings that actually matter, the autofocus modes I keep coming back to when subject detection helps, when it gets in the way, and one setup mistake that causes a ton of photographers to think that their camera has bad autofocus when it really just has bad instructions. Now, this video is not going to be one of those videos where we spend 12 minutes touring every autofocus menu item Nikon has ever invented since the dawn of the menu tab. This is the practical setup, the real world setup, the one that gives you a system you can actually remember when a face appears, a bird takes off, or your subject decides that standing still is apparently beneath them. I've shot Nikon long enough to know the good news is Nikon autofocus is way better than the internet drama makes it sound. And honestly, this is exactly the kind of thing we work through inside my Nikon Z Boot Camp. It's coming up soon. Registration is open now, and the whole idea of the boot camp is helping Nikon shooters get comfortable with the camera as a whole, not just one setting at a time. So yes, we fix autofocus confusion, but we also fix the bigger problem, which is that a lot of people are using incredibly capable cameras with a setup that just doesn't match how they actually shoot. Once you get the camera configured in a way that makes sense, autofocus gets easier. The controls get easier, and the whole shooting experience gets a lot less frustrating. The less good news is Nikon gives you enough options to accidentally build a camera that is perfectly optimized for missing the exact thing you wanted in focus. So let's simplify this. The way I think about Nikon Z autofocus is in 3 layers. First, focus mode. Second, area mode. Third, subject detection. Get those 3 working together and everything gets easier. Get one of them wrong, and now you're blaming firmware, lens motors, the moon cycle, and possibly Canada. So first, focus mode. For almost everything that moves, even a little, I want AFC, continuous autofocus. That includes portraits, weddings, street, kids, pets, events, and honestly, most of real life, because almost nobody is actually standing still. Even when they say they're standing still, they're doing tiny little micro sways, like a drunk tripod. AFS still has a place for landscapes, products, architecture, or anything truly static. But if your goal is perfect focus more often, AFC probably should be your default. That alone fixes a lot of misses because the camera keeps updating focus instead of locking once and hoping your subject respects the agreement. And here's where a lot of people go wrong. They keep switching between AFS and AFC like they're changing gears in a 1997 Civic. You really do not need that much drama. Leave the camera in AFC most of the time and build the rest of the setup around how much control you want. That takes us to area mode, which is where Nikon Z either feels brilliant or mildly passive aggressive. If I'm shooting a person and I want the camera to help me, my starting point is usually wide area AF with people detection, or auto area AF with people detection on newer Z bodies that handle subject recognition well. That gives the camera enough room to find the face or eye without letting it go full chaos goblin and grab the closest shoulder, microphone, tree branch, or extremely confident bystander in the background. If I'm dealing with a busy scene and the camera has too many options, I narrow the box. This is a big theme with Nikon Z autofocus. Start wide when the subject is obvious. Narrow down when the camera gets distracted. Think of it like working with a very smart assistant who occasionally gets overexcited. Now, if the subject is moving unpredictably, especially across the frame, this is where 3D tracking becomes incredibly useful. And I know 3D tracking has been one of those terms Nikon shooters say with the same tone sci-fi characters use when they say wormhole stability. But in practice, it's simple. You just place the point on the subject, start focus, and the camera tracks that subject as it moves. When it works, it feels like cheating in the best possible way. The catch is that 3D tracking works best when your subject stands out clearly from the background. If the subject blends in, changes size fast, gets blocked, or exits the frame, the camera can lose it. So for birds against a clean sky, athletes, moving people, or anything with clear separation, 3D tracking is fantastic. In messy environments, I often trust wide area more because it gives me more control without asking the camera to perform wizardry. Now, let's talk about subject detection because this is where Nikon Z bodies have gotten dramatically better. If your camera supports people, animal, birds, vehicles, or auto subject detection, great. Use it, but use it on purpose. I see a lot of photographers leave subject detection on auto for everything, and then wonder why the camera occasionally locks onto the wrong thing, like it's guessing on a multiple choice test. If you know you're shooting people, set it to people. If you're shooting birds, set it to birds. If you're shooting your dog sprinting at you like it owes money to another dog, set it to animal. The more specific you are, the less the camera has to interpret and the more consistent the results become. And this leads me to one of my biggest autofocus recommendations. Don't build one focus setup for every scenario. Build a main setup and one quick override. That's it. Your default might be AFC, wide area AF, people detection. Then your override might be AFC with 3D tracking for motion. Or your default might be auto area with subject detection, and your override is a tighter box when the scene gets cluttered. You do not need 17 autofocus personalities. You need 2 good ones and fast access to both. This is why I like back button focus on Nikon Z. Not because it's magically more accurate, it isn't, but it separates focusing from the shutter button, which gives you way more control. You can hold focus continuously when you want, stop focus instantly when you don't, and recompose it without the camera trying to be helpful at the exact wrong moment. Once you get used to it, it feels less like operating a camera and more like actually telling the camera what you meant. And if you never tried back button focus, here's the practical benefit that makes the most sense with AFC. Let's say you're photographing a person who is moving a little. So you want continuous autofocus, active while they shift, turn, or lean. With back button focus, you can hold the button down while they move, and the camera keeps tracking them. Then, the second they hit the expression or composition you want, you can let go and take the shot without the camera continuing to chase focus somewhere else at the last moment. That is what makes back button focus so useful. It gives you the benefit of AFC when you want the camera to keep updating focus, and an instant way to stop autofocus when you want the autofocus to stay right where it is. Now, here's the mid-video truth bomb that saves people more shots than almost any fancy setting. Focus accuracy is not just about the autofocus system. It's also about whether your shutter speed is high enough for the kind of subject movement you're dealing with. I see photographers blame autofocus for motion blur all the time. The eye is technically the focus point, but the photo still looks soft because the person moved, the photographer moved, or both of you were participating in a small tremor festival. If your focus is landing but your images still don't look crisp, raise your shutter speed before you declare war on the AF menu. The next thing I strongly recommend is limiting the autofocus area modes you actually scroll through. Nikon gives you a buffet, but that does not mean you need to eat everything. Keep the modes you use most and disable the rest. So when you're changing modes in the field, you move fast instead of cycling through a bunch of options you never touch. This sounds tiny, but in actual shooting, it matters a lot. Friction kills shots. I also like making sure I can see clearly when the camera has achieved focus. On some Nikon Z bodies, there are display settings that make autofocus confirmation more obvious in AFC, which is genuinely helpful because Nikon at times has treated visual feedback like a side quest. Anything that makes it easier to confirm what the camera is doing is worth turning on. So, let me give you a simple version of how I'd set this up today. For portraits, everyday shooting, and most people photography, AFC, people detection, wide area or auto area, depending on how smart your body is, and back button focus if you're comfortable with it. For fast, unpredictable motion, AFC, 3D tracking, and a shutter speed high enough to actually freeze the subject. For cluttered scenes, where the camera keeps grabbing the wrong thing, same AFC, but tighten the area mode and get more deliberate. For totally static work, AFS is fine, or manual focus if you want absolute control. And the big takeaway here is this. Perfect focus every time is not about finding one mythical setting hidden on page 14 of a Nikon menu written by an engineer who definitely enjoys puzzles. It's about reducing conflict. Your focus mode, area mode, and subject detection should all be telling the camera the same story. When they do, Nikon Z autofocus is genuinely excellent. When they don't, the camera starts improvising, and that is usually where the heartbreak begins. Once you get this dialed in, the camera feels less random, your keeper rates go up, and you stop second guessing every missed shot, which is really the goal. We want to think less about autofocus and more about timing, light, expression, gesture, and all the stuff that actually makes a photo worth taking in the first place. So if your Nikon Z has been feeling inconsistent, simplify the setup before you blame the gear. Use AFC more often, be intentional with area mode, narrow subject detection to what you're actually shooting, give yourself one quick override setting for motion, and make sure your shutter speed isn't sabotaging your focus victory lap. If this helped you, let me know in the comments what Nikon Z body you're shooting and which autofocus mode or focus problem gives you the most trouble, because that's where the next useful video probably lives. And if you want a more complete step-by-step workthrough of how I set up Nikon Z cameras beyond just autofocus, including the settings I change right away, the custom controls I actually use, and how I build a setup that feels fast and reliable in the real world, that's exactly what I cover inside Nikon Z Boot Camp. It's live on Zoom. It's limited to just 12 students, so it's intentionally small and more exclusive. And you can sign up now at a discount. So if you've been staring at your camera menu thinking Nikon gave you a spaceship when you wanted a camera, the Nikon Z Boot Camp will help you get dialed in a whole lot faster.